Okay, let me try again. I'm on my phone, so hopefully this will work. Right, tag friends. I think I've already tagged Kirsten. Let me see. Guest requests. You don't have any live viewers yet. Okay, let me see if Kirsten joins and then we'll try again. I think it was because I wasn't on my phone. It kind of makes a little bit more sense now. I've got my laptop set up here with instructions. Is that you watching, Kirsten? We're going to try again. Right. It says I have no live viewers. Well, I do because I can see two. So invite friends to watch. Oh, I've asked you to watch, Kirsten. Yay! Quick! It's adding. I might have to. Yay!
Hi.
Hi, beautiful. I'm sorry about the confusion.
It's okay, Beaut. I was a little bit like, what the heck's going on?
I think it was because I wasn't on my phone. I'm on my phone now.
And it's working on that.
And now it's working. So I might have to take you to the bedroom with me if I need to charge my phone. You're lucky,
okay.
you know.
Okay.
Oh no, I think I'll charge on the laptop. All right.
I'm a bit more prepared. I've got mine ready.
Well, I am plugged in to my laptop. I'm doing this, but no one can see my string. But I don't think it's charging. But now it is. So we're all good to go. Right. So thank you for coming on here with me, Kirsten, because I know how much this is out of your comfort zone.
Definitely.
And I think that's a great place to start, comfort zone.
Yeah.
So just share, before we go into a bit about your story and how you are in the place that you are now compared to where you were, what does getting out of your comfort zone mean to you?
It's difficult to put into words, really. I'd kind of put it in, kind of say, just doing something that's not the norm, like not like an everyday task that you just wake up and you just do without even realizing. It's kind of putting yourself forward to do things that perhaps you've like things that you think about a lot, like, but then you just
that's the key, thinking about it but then not taking the action to do the thing.
Yeah,
because no growth comes in your comfort zone. We all know that. I bang on about that all the time. But Kirsten is, I'm just deciding that you all know who Kirsten is, by the way. So Kirsten is a beautiful client of mine, well, client / friend, of course. And we met how many months ago?
It was over a year ago.
Over a year ago.
About a year ago, I'd say.
And it was so funny how we met, because you joined my random fitness group that I started. And I'm going to read Chris's comment in a minute. Chris has commented.
It's Chris.
I feel like inside your comfort zone is like being in lockdown and you can't really do the things that you want to do. Hell yes. It's keeping yourself small and contracted when each and every one of us is meant for greatness. It's whether or not we choose to step into that uncomfortableness to reach our greatness, and it's a never-ending journey. But yeah, me and Kirsten met through one of my fitness groups, which I just randomly started at the start of lockdown, and then we became one-to-one in a one-to-one relationship, client relationship, and now we're amazing friends and still working together as a client and coach. So when we first started working together, I gave you like different life areas to mark yourself out of 10. So roughly, just to tell the audience listening, it's things like self-love, self-worth, self-confidence, body image, relationships, happiness, spirituality, personal development. Probably missed one or two. And they were quite low. The scores were quite low.
They were really low
when you first came to me.
It's scary how much can change in a year, and as soon as you start actually paying attention to yourself and giving yourself time is when everything just gets better. Because before, I think people go, look after yourself, and I'm like, no, I can't look after myself because I haven't got time. But it was me stopping myself because I wasn't ready to be able to deal with myself or anything that's happened in the past and move forward and to cope, to deal with things, because you can brush things under the carpet for it. You can only do it for so long, and it ends up just taking over your life.
I love that. It's about, lockdown has given us all the opportunity to stop and take a look within. And like you said, we often don't want to take a look within because we don't know what we're going to find, and we don't want to know what we're going to find.
No. But as soon as you start giving yourself that time and attention, everything could just improve. It's amazing. Where I am now compared to where I was this time last year, it's awful. And it's kind of, sometimes you feel a bit, oh, shall I say this, shall I not say this? But I actually think lockdown, yes, it's had lots of negatives for a lot of people, but I've tried to take the positives from it, and it's given me time to spend time with my husband, my children, myself, most importantly. And it's been good for me, but I know that it's not the case for everybody, so it's difficult to say lockdown was good, because it was and it wasn't. But for personal reasons, it's what I needed.
So that's it. And Laura is watching. Hi Laura, she's completely agreed. Can you see this too, Kirsten?
Pardon?
Can you see the comments as well?
Yeah, they flash up and then they go.
Yeah, so Laura completely agrees with you. And what made you reach out to me to start coaching? Like, what was that kind of inside push that made you do that?
I don't know. I think it was kind of sorry, the sun's really bright. It's like I'm sat upstairs and the view looks right above my head, and I pulled the blind down, but I'm like, if I move forward, it's like, ooh. What was it? How did I get? I can't remember really. I think we just started workouts, and I think I did a typical how to lose weight thing because I wasn't happy in my body, and I think initially when we first started talking, like when you'd say, oh, you got to look after yourself and everything, better choices will come, and I'm like, I don't want that, I just want to lose weight. I can't be doing with any of the other guff, but it's the other guff as such that actually makes you get there. Like, for instance, make better choice, I feel so much better in myself now. I wouldn't say I'm perfect, because there is no perfect, because there's always room for improvement and growth. But I think on the whole, I'll make better choices rather than going choosing a 3-course meal. I'll look at things and I'll be like, well, I don't really fancy that. I like that, but I don't fancy that. And it's listening to what my body's telling me that I want. Like today I went to Subway and I was like, no, I don't want bread, so I just had a salad, and I absolutely love their salads. They're amazing.
I do.
And you just feel I just feel better, and it's like I'm not eating a salad because I've got to eat a salad because I'm on this stupid diet. I'm eating a salad because I want to eat a salad.
Yes, that is key. It's the why. I mean, I mean, you didn't really have disordered eating, but in general, in anything in life, it's just food. If the motivation for doing the thing, like for example, some people, let's take stepping on stage in, as a bikini model, in fitness, that is all 100% for aesthetic reasons. You get on the stage, compared against other women, and you marked a number, and then you win or whatever. But some people could genuinely want to pursue that career, or sport, I'm going to call it sport because it is, because they're really into that. They're not doing it because they don't feel that they're good enough. They want to see how far they can push their body. It all depends on the why behind everything. So you're making, more nutritious choices because you're checking in with yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is everything.
I mean, even when I had COVID in February this year, it was really, really scared me. And I think it scared me because my children had it as well, and my husband, and it was all 4 of us in the house. And my husband, bless him, whenever he's ill, he literally has to eat his way out of it. So he was literally eating everything, takeaways, and I was like, no, I don't want that. So I was still eating quite healthy. I'd started Bella, one of the other girls that we both know, she I think she did a podcast with you not long ago. I started doing some of her exercise classes and her nutritional plan, and I started that in the week that I had COVID, and I fully stuck to it. And I felt, even though I felt horrific with COVID, I felt better for eating well, because if I'd have eaten pizza, Chinese, Indian, everything, it was just convenience rather than my body wanted healthy nutritional foods. And I think that helped me kind of get better. I mean, don't get me wrong though, this year spending time working on myself and improving myself, I've had some awful injuries. I've hurt my back. I was spasmed. I was in bed for about 2 weeks. I've had this horrific ongoing ear infection, but I think with the help of you, Vic, it's definitely helped me to listen to my body and to rest more. Like before, like this time last year, beginning of last year, you'd have said to me, go and meditate, I'd be like, do what? Whereas now it's like, oh, have I got time for another? Or I'm not going to watch Coronation Street. I think I'll put like a meditation on and just zone out and just relax. And it's, a lot of people think it's wishy-washy rubbish, but it isn't. And I think it's, from my experience, because I used to feel like that, I was like, oh, what's that about? Can't deal with that. Once you actually let yourself explore different things, it literally can change your life.
Yeah, I love that you use the word let yourself, as in like you allowed yourself to explore things. I mean, of course you were taking advice because you'd invested in yourself. So the advice I'm giving you, if I'd said start meditating and you hadn't invested, maybe you would have just kind of been like, yeah, but because you made the decision to change, to create a life for yourself and your family, you made that energy shift to like, right, okay, I don't know exactly what to do to feel better, but I'm going to trust me, which I'm so grateful for, and then do the things that take you towards building a relationship up with yourself. That's the key here, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think for me especially, like having 2 children, that like Esme and Georgia, that was a massive thing for me, because I remember having a discussion with my mum years ago when I just had Esme, or at some point, and like saying, oh, you're not the mum that I thought you'd be. And it's like, because I wasn't the mum that I thought I'd be, because I had so much going on, like crazy in my head. I didn't have time to actually give them the attention that they deserve and the attention that I wanted to give them, whereas now we do. And like it's hard, because there are right and wrongs with parenting, but what's right for some people isn't right for others, and everyone has their different ways, and every child is different. I mean, you've met both of them, I think, and they are definitely different. Like the little one is the bitch, she's got the biggest character, and like I don't look at it as naughty, and I'm not one of these mums that's like, oh no, she's not naughty, it's character. She is just character, and I don't want, it's the confidence and it's just amazing to watch. And like sometimes I just stand back rather than shouting at her, Georgia, don't do this. Obviously I do that sometimes because she does need talent, but you'd be able to stand back and look at her. And then like with doing that, I actually see so much of myself in her, so much of Richard in her, so much of my mum in her. It's actually amazing. Like before, you just look at her and be like, gosh, she's just been naughty, where actually she isn't. If you step back and actually watch what she's doing, you can see why she's doing what she's doing. And sometimes it's for attention, sometimes it's because she's copying what I've done or what her sister's done, and that can sometimes make you stop as well and be like, yeah, I kind of know where she's got that from. Perhaps I need to think about, because they're sponges, aren't they, basically, kids. And it's merely made me more aware of how my actions are and how she absorbs what I do, and it's a reflection of myself.
I love that. It's like coaching's holding a mirror up to you, to the person that I'm coaching, and I mean, again, I'm not a mum, so I can't speak from experience with this, but we can learn a lot from children, and especially your children. Like you said, they almost hold a mirror up for you as a parent. Are you laughing at what Lucy's put?
No, I've not seen that one. What's she put?
Oh no, it was Laura. She's put, she has a plan. I think she does have a plan. Have you noticed any of your children start to copy you in the realm of self-care? Kind of, because when I first met you, and I'm sure you won't mind me sharing this, you were feisty, and you're still feisty, because we don't change who we are in that respect, but you've learned to respond instead of
I'm a lot calmer inside, and that's really weird. It's like here, like when people say, where do you carry your feelings, mine are always like here in my throat and like my chest. But yeah, like I've always speak to like anyone that's known me since I was a child, like my mum or my auntie Janice or my auntie Jane. They'll be like, oh gosh, yes, she's always been like that. And at work, people are like, oh, where Georgia gets it from? Steve. I'm like, I don't know what you're saying, but it's just who I am, and I won't apologise for who I am. It's like, if I used to really, really worry about what people think of me. Whereas now I'm like, if you don't like me, then that's fine. That's your opinion. That's your choice. But I actually like myself now. And I've grown so much. Like, so to anybody that thinks doesn't know, like, reach out to somebody, whether it's a friend or a coach, or me, and I can help give advice and send people to you, Vic. It's just the best thing that I ever did. Like, my mum will often say, I don't know how you've got through all the shit you've got through. And it's like, it's because of this, because of me giving myself the time, because of, oh, Auntie Janice is on. Hi, Auntie Janice.
Hi, Auntie Janice. Don't know you, but
hi. But yeah, it's important to just give yourself time, really, and believe in yourself.
How, if someone was asking for your advice in the context of what you just said was magic, you don't really care what other people think, like you are being you and that's the end of it. How, because you thought differently when we first started working together, and it's obviously not me, it's you that's done all the work, but how have you got from there to there?
I think one of the first steps and the hardest steps was removing toxic people from your life. When you realise that actually, what are you getting from other people, like energy wise, and like sometimes like in the past I'd be like, energy, what's this energy about? Whereas now, like, I did it to Rich the other day in the kitchen. He made a comment and I just went, oh, back at him, like, what are you doing? I was like, just sending you back at you, babe. I don't want it. I'm in quite a good mood, thank you. You can take that and trot on, type thing. It's just looking around you and stepping back and assessing, like, is this person good for me? What are they bringing me? What am I bringing them? And things like that. And like, I've got lots of friends. I'm very lucky that I've got some very, very special, very close friends. And I love everybody, all my friends dearly, and I'll be there for anybody. But there are people, I'd say acquaintances more now, that you realise, I think whether it's partly getting older, partly when you have children, you just start looking at things differently. And I think I was always very influenced by like my mum and my Auntie Janice and people and their views and what they think is right. And that's, like I say, what's right for some people is not right for everybody. And like, me and my mum are quite similar, but we clashed a lot over the years growing up and things. And I was a little bit of a brat when I was younger, caused her quite a few problems and stresses. And if she was here, she'd say, you still do. But we can discuss things a lot better now. And like, I'll calm her down because she's a bit like a coiled spring. And I'm very aware of other people and how they are. And I'll assess situations and occasions and act appropriately, like recognize if someone needs space and try and diffuse like stresses and anger. It's trying to put things like your thoughts and your facts. There's a big thing, like it's overthinking. People's just minds go crazy overthinking things, and it's like, no, this isn't the fact, this isn't the truth, this isn't it, you're thinking this. The fact is, I don't know, can't think of an example. Your thoughts that aren't your facts, and it's just scary if you look how it spirals. If you don't actually just go, whoa, hold on a minute, let's stop and kind of pick it apart a bit and say, well, yeah, because everyone has different opinions of things as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I love how you, throughout the whole process of working together and still continuing to do so, even if you're in a challenging situation, it's not always about this person is doing this. You always take a look at yourself first. You know, you always come inward, give the person what you think they need, and then either take a back seat or reach out to help them. It's not about, you've gone deeper. You've gone from the surface level, he's just an knobhead or she's just whatever, to like, okay, there's a reason why he or she is acting that way. How am I to play a part in that? Can I better myself? And then what can I offer them? But then it's not rolling over either and saying, you know, I'm so in love and spirituality, then everyone's right. And it's like, you know, you're still holding boundaries for yourself, who you are, but you're looking at it from a broader perspective and responding instead of reacting, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And what do you think gave you the permission? I'm going to say the word permission, because as women, we tend to use that a lot, even though we don't actually need permission. I remember coaching.
I've said it to you. I've said to you, I think this, and you're like, here's your permission slip. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, I literally went on Google and was like, permission slip, and actually was like, sent you one, as in, here's your permission slip to believe in yourself. Here's the permission slip to set boundaries.
Definitely.
Like, why do you think, as women, and I'm not just stereotyping, of course, but why do you think we kind of feel we need someone's permission to do something?
I don't know, really. I think you spend so much of your life trying to please other people. You lose track of what you are and think. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
It's really hard, and I think, especially when you have children, that you kind of end up taking so many steps backwards. You kind of go right down the pecking order, and it's like I've kind of worked my way back up the pecking order, if you know what I mean, that like the conveyor belt. I was going down, everyone else was going up, and I'm going back down, whereas now I'm like running up the side, chasing up, trying to get back up there, and it's amazing when you actually do that.
How I love that analogy and that vision you have. How if anyone if any mothers are watching now or watching the replay, and they feel, and I can only imagine, like I say, I'm not a mum myself yet, but I can only imagine that feeling of you going down and everyone's priorities going on top of yours because you're a mum and it's your duty to obviously provide for your family. How have you gotten yourself back up to the top?
I say, like I said earlier, like lockdown did help, and with the schools and nurseries and everything closing, I took a 3-month career break because I recognised myself. My anxiety was horrendous. Like I was literally like shaking. I just couldn't do my job to the standard that I wanted to do my job, and I kind of took a step back and I was like, I can't do this. Spoke to my husband, and yeah, ideally it wasn't easily affordable, but we were like, we could do this, because we just wanted to protect ourselves and the children. It was like I felt like I was going back into living in a bubble. Like the last, I'd say 8-9 years of my life, well, not the last year so much because I've worked my way out, but the easiest way to describe how I felt was like a bubble, and I looked in the mirror and who I saw wasn't me, if that makes sense. Like I didn't really know who I was anymore. I lost myself, and it was like a bit like you need that permission slip to find yourself again. And like at times you have to be ready. It's a bit like exercising and things. Like if you're not in the right frame of mind to do it, you're gonna put minimal effort in. You might as well not bother. Go rather than like, don't try and do like an intensity, like an intense class. Go for a walk. Like
I love that.
What's more appropriate at the time. And sometimes you have to go through the shit to get over the shit, to learn from it. And like the past is the past. You can't change that. We can't change that. Yes, with hindsight, there's lots of areas in my life I would change and have done things a lot differently, but that's not possible. So there's no point using the time now, the present time, thinking about the past, because that's what it is. It's the past. All I can do is learn from the past mistakes I've made. I've got to make me teary, and move forward and try and do everything I can for myself and for my children and for my husband and my family and my friends, and support people that I care about, that care about me. Basically, I've got the biggest heart, and you just got to find who you are again, really, is kind of the key, really.
It's coming back to like a lot of spiritual conversations, say things like come back home to yourself, and I've said it before, and what that means is exactly what you're describing. It's like finding who you are again. But the funny thing is, we were born with unconditional self-love for ourselves. We have no fear. We walk around naked. In fact, we don't even want to put clothes on, like your Georgia, for example. This is not okay. It's itchy.
I am not wearing this. I'm not wearing this ever.
So we're born loving ourselves so deeply, and then as we go through our lives, we unlearn. We kind of fall out of love with ourselves as we go through life, and then we get to a stage. That's okay. We get to a stage in our life where we we want to feel that unconditional self-love for ourselves. Then we unlearn all the stuff we've learned, if it's making sense, to come back to who we are again. And that's
it's the unlearning. You spend so much from like from the moment you're born, but you're always learning. Every day you learn things, whether you know it or not. But it's unlearning the past.
Oh yes, I love how you've phrased that. It is unlearning the past. I mean, of course, like, I want to challenge your, and again, radical honesty, which you always give me, when you said hindsight is a fine thing and you would go back and make different choices. Would you actually? And this isn't I'm not trying to get you to say
it's sorry, I'm having to hold my phone now, my charger's in, because otherwise you'll keep falling.
That's okay. What time will? Okay.
I'll hold it like that.
That's all right. We can still see you.
Let me hold on one sec. If I prop it up on there, it might stay. Oh, yeah, it might just slide a bit. There we go. I can't really see you, but never mind. Sorry, what were we saying?
Oh my God, I've lost my train of thought. That was so good as well.
We always do this.
We always do. It was unlearning. It was about unlearning.
Oh, changing the past.
Changing the past, yes. Would you?
It's difficult. It's a really difficult question to answer. I've got a background of us, like, a minute ago in the background. I can hear it. It's really bizarre. Can you hear it?
It's all good this end.
Oh, I don't know why it's playing. I'm getting like, it's weird. It's probably me and my dodgy ears. Would I change? Yes. I don't know, babe. I can't really say. There's big things that have happened in my life that obviously I wouldn't wish anyone to have to go through. The stress, and it's like I found for both occasions of me having children turned out to like not be the most stressful time of my life for having the child. It was everything else going on in my life, and the thing I would change is not believing in myself and not trusting my gut. Like my t-shirt, I don't know if you can see it, it says follow your instincts, never the crowd.
Oh, I like that one.
I just love it. And then on the back it says do you, and it's dead old and I can't find another one, so it's like, it should be white, and it's a little bit like off-white now, but it's just one of my faves. And I think everyone comments on it when I wear it, and they're like, what does that say? And it's because it rings true to people, and they read it and they're like, oh, but then they'll like move on again, because they're like, they've allowed that little bit of time to like take it in a look, but then they've gone, oh no, brushed it away.
Exactly.
Because that's what people do.
Yes, that's exactly.
Yeah, I think the thing I would change would just be not giving up on myself, but not believing in myself and not trusting my gut instinct, because that is always right. Like, if I ask myself any occasions in the past where I've not trusted my gut instinct, how did it work out? And it went fucking horrendously wrong, sorry. A lot of the time. Whereas every time I do follow my gut now, because I'm very conscious of it now, then it's always right.
It's like that what I share, isn't it? It's like your Google Maps for life.
Yeah.
Let me just check with Google Maps, which is your gut feeling. So you say that's your gut. So do you feel it in your gut area? Is that where you feel it?
No, it's all here with me, like my throat and my chest, like it's always there.
Yeah. So anyone watching, and it's okay if you don't know the answer, just stop practicing. And I think sorry to interrupt, but I think sometimes not knowing the answer and being okay with that is a big part, because not everything has a yes, no, or a black. It's not black and white. Sometimes it takes learning and development to actually find the answer. Yes,
because it is in there. It's just finding a way, your own way, because everybody will be different of getting it out.
Yeah, and in fact, Matt Carlin told me something once, and it stuck with me for so long. We all know Matt Carlin. Well, not all of us, but me and you know Matt Carlin. He said to me, if you don't know what to do, do nothing. And that's the best piece of advice I've heard, because I'm all about listening to my intuition always, since I've learned this, how to do that. But sometimes it's kind of is it a yes? And you start doubting yourself, then you get up in your head and you don't know what you're doing. So if anyone listening, you know, practice making a decision about something small as what you're going to eat to start with, or whether you're going to go out or not, or whatever. Practice feeling where you feel that yes or no in your body. And like Kirsten said, it doesn't matter if you don't know the answer, that's okay. But from the advice, you've dropped me, from the advice that I've been given by Matt Carlin is, if you don't know what to do, do nothing. And then it will come to you. The exact right thing for you on your life path will come to you as a sign. And even when it comes to you, you don't have to take it. Like Kirsten said, the amount of time she's ignored her gut feeling, because we all get a choice as a human, and that's the whole point in life. We get a choice to do everything.
But it's taking responsibility for your choices as well, and a lot of people in life won't take responsibility for their own actions, and it is what it is type thing. But only you can move forward. It's easy to blame everybody else, but to actually look at yourself and be like, what did I actually do with, like, what was my involvement, what was my role in this? Being self-aware as well. And if it's all just getting too much, just go to sleep. That's what I do.
Tomorrow's a new day.
Because there are occasions where you just need to do that. You can't think anymore, you can't cry anymore, you can't shout anymore. There's just no point. Like, you've got nothing else. So if you feel that exhausted, whether it be for whatever the reason, that's where I really find, and have found over the last year, sticking a meditation on or reading a book, making time, because there's always a reason why you can't do something. Like, well, I can't do this, I haven't got time. Well, you can, you just don't want to. Because you can, like, I've done it, like, and there are occasions that I don't read every single night in bed, but I quite happily, like, when I first started talking to you and you go to bed early, I was like, oh my god, is she for real?
Last day, off I go.
Babe, I'm the same. I'll have like 1 or 2 nights a week where I'll be like past 9 o'clock, and it's like, oh my god, this is dead late. You always feel a bit naughty. And it's like I've got a friend who rang me, and I didn't answer. I was like, I'm sorry, babe. And she's like, you've always in bed early now. I'm like, I know, babe, I just love bed, because I just do. I put my phone on do not disturb. I've got like a countdown to go on to, like, no, do not disturb starts for, like, I think I've got it set for 9, so I get a reminder at 8:30. But I always like plan my evenings to be, so I'm going to be in bed for 8:30, or at least in bed reading, not asleep by 8:30, but in bed either listening to a podcast, reading my book for half an hour, or doing whatever, putting meditation, and whatever feels right for me at that point, I will do that.
I love that.
Honestly, and that's because I've made the time for that.
And you've set boundaries for yourself. Like, this is what I want in my life, and this is what's going to happen. But I'm just checking the time, because I've got, okay, cool. For the last 10 minutes, I've got another call at 3. I'm an hour ahead of you. I would like you to speak to and give as much information as you like. Alcohol and shopping. You used to use that as I'll just numb, I'll just shop, or I'll just drink. Like, I mean, the
really bad
you have with alcohol is fantastic now. It
did get pretty bad at one point. Like, I'd just be like, well, there's nothing to do, so I'll just drink. It's like, this is not, and this is what I was saying earlier, like, I knew that I didn't really want to, but it was like an out of body experience. I was like, I could see myself drinking far too much. Like, it was not good for my health. I had no energy. I ate like crap food because I couldn't be bothered to make nice, healthy, nutritious food. I'd shout at the kids. I'd hate Rich. At one point, I kicked Rich out. And it's like, it's all like this bizarre thing. And it's like, I'm watching down. It's a bit like, I don't know, like looking down, like, who the hell are you? And like, I did, I was like, I said to you, didn't I? I didn't drink for probably like, definitely did dry Jan, I think.
And then you went into Lent as well, didn't you?
Yeah, we did it till lockdown eased. We didn't really, I think I had 1 or 2 drinks, but that was because I wanted to, not because I felt like I had to, because I found I started getting to the stage where I was starting to look at alcohol as a bad thing, and was starting to develop a bad opinion of alcohol. And alcohol, you like, some people can have a lot, some people can have one drink and just have to drink bottles and bottles, and it's really difficult, really, and a lot of it's habit. And I think the hardest thing for me was breaking the habit with when it came to drinking, like, because you associate it with things. But I mean, now, like, I went to the pub with my friend Lucy last night. We had probably a little bit too much to drink, but we had a good night, and I was drinking because through enjoyment and not because I felt like I had to. Because at some points it was like, well, I need to have a drink, and
it's that word need,
yeah, and
I'm not going to be okay. Yeah. That's the trigger, isn't it? To look into.
And it's like making better choices. Like, I made the choices to not drink for a while, and then realised that wasn't actually right for me. But I broke the habit of drinking to mask issues. And I think it was on Coronation Street. I think like you get drunk at somebody because you're angry, so you're drinking because you're angry. But rather than doing that, look at why are you angry and things. And it's tough, but yeah, I feel so much better now, and I enjoy having a drink with friends socially and that. And I've always liked to drink. I've always liked to go to the pub. I've always been a very, very social person. Like, anybody that knows me is probably laughing at this.
I think our Wendy's watching. Hi,
Wendy. But like obviously from the manor, when I lived at the manor, it just all felt like a complete bubble to me. It's just like a time of my life that could have been so much more amazing than it was. Like, it was the most beautiful house. It was a beautiful place to live. Everybody there is absolutely lovely, and I miss many people, because I didn't know everybody there, but I knew quite a few people, and everybody was so lovely. It was like a little community type thing, and I really miss that. But personally, I'm happier living where we live now, because I don't have any of the shit on my shoulders that I had when I lived there. It wasn't the house or anything, it was the circumstances and things. Like, I'm in a completely different place now, and mentally I'm just happier. I actually feel like I live life every day, and I don't just exist. And that's a really strange feeling, and it does make me teary thinking, like, talking about it, because it's been an emotional time. But along the journey, I've met a lot of wonderful people.
I love you. What are you? As there's two things I want to ask you before we finish. Which one shall I ask you first? Okay, the first one. Where do you see yourself going in terms of personal development? Like, what do you feel you still need to practice and work on? If there's anything, I love how you never mark it out of 10. It's always like a 9, because there's always room for improvement.
I don't know. You know, I hate these. You do this on purpose.
I've done it on purpose.
I know you have. I just don't know what to say. I don't know it. Just carry on being true to myself, really, and working on myself and doing what feels right for me and my family, and not caring, not caring, but not like realizing that if I do something that's not, people don't approve of, then that's my choice, and I'll own that choice. Do you know what I mean? Rather than worry about it and stress myself. That's what it is. If you don't like it, then bye. Like,
always connecting to self and putting family.
Self-awareness is a big thing for me.
And the last question, it might make you teary, and it might not, but tears are always welcome. I feel teary asking the question. If you could go back to a year and a half ago, what would you tell your younger Kirsten, like when she's in that struggling and in that pain? Like, what would you say to her?
Just to believe in yourself, and that you are a good mom, and just continue, just believe in yourself. You'll get there. It's just tiny baby steps.
I feel very emotional.
But it's baby steps. You can't jump from being just a bit like depressed. Like they say, like the doctors diagnosed me with postnatal depression, but to me, it wasn't that I started suffering with depression a long time before that, and I can pinpoint it to the exact time when it was. But it doesn't matter when it was, but I know that it's kind of in a way made me who I am, and I've learned from it. And you should never be ashamed of yourself, because it is just a journey, and you can get through anything if you just give yourself the time and the love to do that. And obviously having an amazing coach like you, and good family and friends, and my husband, like me and Rich, I met Rich when I was 15. We've been on and off together ever since, and like we've been married 10 years this year. And it's like, shit, I feel really old. Like, God, I'm an actual adult. I don't want to be an adult.
No, we're never an adult. No, don't
but
lie.
Then I don't want. But it doesn't really matter, because I'm not. I'm just Kirsten. That's who I am. And but yeah, just I think it's important to just be happy in yourself
and follow your
heart.
Google Maps. Follow your heart.
Definitely.
You've been amazing, Kirsten. Thank you so much for sharing a bit of your story and for being vulnerable and open. And thank you for everyone who's watching. And I love you to bits. And of course, I will see you on WhatsApp, and I'll see you tomorrow because we've got our group call.
Yes, 1 o'clock.
Yes.
I will stick the girls in the bedroom playing with the dolls, and hopefully there won't be too many arguments.
Oh, they'll come in. They'll come in. Okay, it's fine.
Can I have a black currant? How to make it water at the bottom, black currant at the top? Standard.
Oh, that's a new thing?
Oh, she does it all the time.
So she's mixed in. I'm intrigued in this new drink thing.
No, she's always done it. She comes in and she's like, "Can I have black currant, please, Mummy?" I'm like, "Yes, sweetheart." I was like, because it's so cute when she says it. She goes, "Like, how do you do it, Georgia?" And she's not. I'm surprised because she's pretty intelligent. I'm surprised she's not clicked on that we're just doing it because it makes us laugh every time. But she's like, "Water at the bottom, black currant at the top." Oh. And it's just the cutest little thing.
She's gorgeous, as are you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for your patience on getting on this live as well, because I know how to do it now. Use my phone.
Yeah, we've mastered it now.
We've mastered
next
it.
Time.
And I'm going to save this episode and put it into a podcast as well, because people need to hear your journey and your heart. So thank you again, and thank you to anyone watching. And I love you. I love you all.
Love you all.
Have an amazing weekend.